Hey everyone, Jeremy here with Bogren Digital, and in this video we're going to take a look at the different routing options in Krimh Drums, so let's just jump right into it. The simplest way to get up and running with Krimh Drums is to just load up the default stereo instance and have all the sound coming directly from Krimh Drums. So to do that, we'll just load up a new contact instance, load Krimh Drums. And as you'll hear, everything is set up, ready to start processing your MIDI drums. In most scenarios, this is all you will need to get great sounding drums in your productions. Krimh Drums comes with a very capable mixer with built-in effects like EQ and compression and presets from top producers. However, if you are looking for more control and you would like to be able to mix each individual part of the drum set yourself in your DAW, then that is where multi-output routing comes in. So let's jump into that now. In most DAWs, you just need to place a regular instance of Kontakt on your track. However, in Logic, make sure to select 16 by stereo to have the right amount of outputs available. All right, so back in Reaper, the very first thing we're gonna do is, of course, load up an instance of Kontakt. Now, before we load up Krimh Drums, we're gonna need to open up the plugin pin connector. Now, this is a little dialog. It looks like this. To load that, you click this button up here. Mine currently says 2 of 59 out. It is right between param and UI. Now, in here, where it says track channels, we're gonna scroll down. We're gonna select 32 because there are 16 stereo outputs from Krimh Drums. So we have 32 there, and now under the outputs section down below, if you do not see the outputs section or pane down here, to view that, make sure in the pane window here you see outputs checked. If it is not checked, check it and you will see the outputs displayed. Now from the outputs pane, we're just going to click the little plus sign here next to where it says outputs, and in quantity, we're going to scroll up to 16 because we want 16 individual tracks. We're going to leave number of channels at 2. Standard host output, we're going to just start at stereo 1 and then leave ascending output assignment checked. So we'll make sure that that is checked. Then delete existing channels before creating new ones. We're going to check that just to clear out anything that's already there. And optionally make this your default configuration. If you'd like to do that, make sure that's checked as well. With all that in place, click OK. And as you can see, we now have all 16 tracks, and they are going to all 32 individual channels that we created in the plugin pin connector. At this point, it is now time to load up Krimh Drums, so I'm gonna do that now. All right, now with Krimh Drums loaded, we're gonna move to the mixer window, and if you look under each channel, there is this drop down here which currently says master. This means each of these channels are currently being routed to this last master channel over here. So to change that, all we have to do is click on the drop down and we can select the individual channel we want to route to. Now you can manually set all of these yourself like so. However, there is this handy option here, route all channels to sequential outputs. If I select this, you can see it just did all of that for me sequentially, starting from the first output to the last one. And those match the outputs down here. Now, one quick note on these individual outputs. If you do not see all of these individual outputs that we created earlier, it is likely that you already had Krimh Drums open when you created the outputs down here in the output section. To remedy this, simply close Krimh Drums using the X here and reload it. And then you should see all of these outputs and you can route each track accordingly. All right, with all of that routing in place, the very last step is to come over here to the Reaper effects list and right click on Kontakt. Then choose Build Multi-Channel Routing for output of selected effects. And as you can see, it's going to give us a whole bunch of information on all the new tracks it's going to create. We'll just say yes. We now have a bunch of new tracks with all of the routing automatically in place. So if we return to the kit view and click around, you can see all of the individual channels are now routed out to specific DAW tracks, and we can mix everything as we would like right here in the DAW. One other important note I want to point out is when you have multi-channel routing set up, these channels in Krimh Drums are no longer passing through the master channel processing. So any processing that's happening here in the master channel is no longer going to be applied to the individual tracks. All right, everyone, that is it. I hope you found this video helpful. Happy mixing.